This Wi-Fi situation is not very good. Oh, ASMR. I don't know. I'm thinking about it, but people hated it when I did it. Sabrina, have you done any ASMR?
I did a like motivational video that kind of has ASMR vibes. I do plan on doing like an ASMR because a lot of people seem to like my voice. So
Hmm.
like when I say certain things, when I say things a certain way, they're like, "Oh, your voice is so soothing." So I'm like, "All right." So I'm gonna start reading. I think I'm gonna start reading Ratchet stories in a very soothing voice. I
That's a
think
good
it'd be
idea.
mad funny.
That's a good idea.
Be
I,
like, "So
I think that would
hold
be.
that bitch. Stay away from my man."
And I grabbed the chancleta and
I hit her
wakatad.
upside the head. I had to hit her upside the head. I had to give her a quick little $1.50 because you know I stay with that strap in my cheek.
Razors.
Ooh,
Okay.
vegan mukbang tomorrow.
All right. What else was good in London?
My channel name is Sabrina Sith or Sabrina the Plug. I don't remember.
Mhm.
You can find me either way.
Oh
And
yeah,
yes, I am vegan also.
I remember you changed your name to Sabrina the Plug briefly.
Because I was like, if I'm gonna like market myself, I can't use Sith because that's Star Wars.
Yeah.
But then I hate the plug so much. I'm like, I am Sabrina Sith. If I
Yeah.
get sued, I get sued.
Yeah. No, I don't think they're gonna come at you for that. But yeah, if anything, it's just gonna make you more popular. In
It's
local
so
news.
it's funny. Like a whole bunch of people be like, "Oh, your last name is Sith. Did you know that there's Sith in Star Wars?" I was like, "No, tell me more.
Like
Tell me
that's
more about it."
last name. All right, I'm gonna read some of these comments.
Thank you, Grace. I appreciate you.
Not vegan at all, but I have made healthy choices in your meals. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yo, that's really. I mean, obviously, I want people to go vegan, but I really just want people to be more conscious of their food choices and like slowly to just eliminate like animal products and stuff like that, and just be more aware, especially like people like in the hood and stuff like that, because the education tends to not get there. So we gotta, put it out there and just like
Facts.
share as much as possible so people can like do what they want with the information. That's all I really care about. So
Yeah, I feel like it's super important for um food like food deserts obviously lack the proper education when it comes to eating.
mhm.
Um and I feel like people need to learn. And also a lot of people like to use the culture, the as like the hood culture aspect. I'm not talking about cultural as in ethnicity. I'm talking about like the hood culture aspect of why they can't go vegan. And
Mhm.
I'm like, we need to let go of that mentality.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's terrible. Like I think, I mean, obviously there's certain reasons that we move a certain way because of like, systematic racism and all of this stuff. But
Yeah.
when you realize how much harm this stuff is causing you and like the facts, the science, then you gotta start making a change. We can't keep on relying on those crutches like, oh, you know, I'm not gonna do something that's better for myself because of the system or whatever, or that's what they do. This is what we do. We're
Right.
killing ourselves. So Rebecca is
Yeah.
at home. Yeah. So that's crazy.
What happened to Rebecca?
Yo, you know what's funny? Yeah,
No,
Rebecca's
my
at home.
homegirl.
Yeah, she's chilling. But I find it so funny, and this is not like for people currently here right now or whoever. I don't know. It's just certain comments that I get or like DMs like that Rebecca gets like, "Where's Berto?" or "Where's Rebecca?" Like, but like,
I get that too.
yeah, yeah. was just like, "No,
I
we're
get it
good."
all the time. I'm like, they're like, "Where's Tony?" I'm like, "The bathroom." What do you why? Why do you wanna know? What what does that information do now? Now that you have it, like, "Oh, okay, in the bathroom." Oh,
I was worried. Alright,
but he did.
how did we meet? Oh, okay, so back in the day, I was living in California, and that's when I went vegan. This is 6 years ago, and not too long after that, like, I started building up my Instagram, and me and Sabrina, we followed each other, and then I love telling this story because it's just, like, so out there. And then Sabrina, I don't know how we started talking initially. I think because I was working on my cookbook, which was, like, featuring different, vegans in
I
NYC.
don't know, that was, like, after the fact.
I n No, I think
I feel like
ini
it wasn't? I
I
thought it was
think
after.
I think we probably like, we followed each other, but
Okay, I
the
remember that.
actual, like, contact, I think it might have been that. Maybe not. But Sabrina, I forget, we were talking on Instagram, like, through DM, and then she's like, "Oh, yo, send me your number." I was like, "Oh, alright." She's about to text me or something like that. She calls me. She calls me. I was like, "What?" And I was on the phone with Sabrina, and Sabrina's just like going off. Yeah, I'm out. I'm doing this catering thing right now. Blah blah blah. And I was just like, yo, like she dead ass called right now though. Like
That's what
I
I
was just like,
do.
yeah, I know. I was so surprised. Like that shocked
But
me so
that's
much.
I was like, "Oh, he's cool. Man, he's mad cool. Imma call him."
Yeah,
If I call you like that, that means I already really fucks with you, and that was the case.
yeah, I appreciate that.
'Cause look
But
at
yeah.
now, like, you're one of my closest friends, like, I appreciate your
Mhm.
existence so
Aw,
much, and
yeah,
it all worked out.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, after that, it was just like we were cool, and then we met up when we were in Cali, and I'm gonna tell this story again. We met up. We went to a coffee shop, whatever. That was terrible, but we hung out. We hung out for like a few hours. We were all good.
Oh, that place was so trash.
Yeah, it was bad. But this story right here, when Sabrina dropped me off because she was driving, she went to get like some vegan option from like some like taco spot or something like that. And she calls me like maybe like 15 minutes after like dropping me off, and she's like, "Yo, Berto." I was like, "Yeah, what up?" I was just like, "Yo, why does her voice sound so aggressive right now?" She's like, "Yo, this guy in here, he's talking shit about vegans and whatever." So I guess because he saw that you bought the vegan option, that he wanted to like talk shit to you or whatever. And then like I was like, "Yo, what should I do? Like, should I like go out there and just, like I don't even know where she's at right now. I
What?
can't get there."
I don't know what I was thinking.
I think we've all had those moments in life where it's just like it's crazy, and then you just like, "Yo, I'm about to get this person killed or something like that, or beat up." But I feel like
I also was in a foreign land, like in New York, I make a phone call, they
mhm,
it's a hit.
yeah,
In Cali, I'm like, "I don't know, I wanna fight this man, but I don't know who's gonna have my back once I fight him."
yeah. I was like, "Nah, don't do it. I'll come over, but like, don't do anything. Like, just let it like." Because I didn't even I probably wouldn't even been able to get to you. I would probably had to run like 3 miles.
No, you definitely wouldn't have gotten to me. And what's funny is like, why was I gonna fight over veganism? Like I'm such a hardcore vegan. Like, oh, you talking shit? Oh,
Yeah,
I.
I think he was
Like,
probably. I'm not sure if it was that in particular, or if he was just like trying to like come at you and then just
oh,
like
I think it was it was a direct like,
yeah,
and I used to get really mad when people used to come for me when it comes to veganism because it was just so frustrating, so annoying, and so just all the ignorance that was like spewed my way was just so frustrating, and I just like, I'm not a hothead because I don't really fight like that, but I will get loud. I will mad extra. Like, no,
Yeah,
first of all, where the fuck do you get your cholesterol from? You talking about my protein? What's good with your gut? What's good with your heart? I bet your
that
arteries all clogged up. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. All right. Look, I'm over here just trying to do good. I'm compassionate and shit. Like, how do you say compassionate and shit? You can't.
compassionate
How
and
do I
shit.
defend? Yeah, like I'm defending veganism, but mad like, yo, what up? At least ain't no cow scared of me. Ain't no cow scared of me. I ain't about to eat them. I don't look at no pig and think bacon. I'm over here loving on them. Stupid.
No, I was gonna ask you though, like, has your way of communicating kind of like changed over the years when it comes to like vegan subject? Because
Oh,
mine definitely have. I'll follow mine up after yours, but go ahead.
I'm definitely more of uh I know my audience
Mhm.
better. I know how to talk to certain people. I know when somebody's receptive of information and is willing to learn, and I could just say it, and I could package it in any way, shape, or
Yeah,
form and present it to them. And there's other people who I have to kind of mold it in a certain way that they will be able to receive it and willing to receive it. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of stubbornness, and you have to learn how to work around the stubbornness. You can't push through it. A
yeah,
lot of people like to push through it like, no, da 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 da, like with like anger, but you have to find patience with a lot of people. And
yeah,
a lot of the reasons that you may be vegan may not be good enough for for the person you're talking to. Just because you're vegan for the animals doesn't mean that everyone is going to care about the animals at
exactly.
all. You know what I mean? So if you package it, like a lot of people always, one thing that I do, like I like to let people know, because a lot of people when I tell them my age, they're
Yeah,
like, "You're what?" And
mhm,
like I'm for people who don't know, I'll be 35 this year. So when I tell people I'm in my mid 30s, they're like, "Yo, I thought you was 20 something, da da da
yeah,
da. Like, what's your secret? What's your secret?" I'm like, "Actually, I stopped eating meat when I was I and it's funny because I was thinking about it today. I all my 20s, I did not eat meat. I probably ate meat in my when I turned 20 years old, and then that's when I cut it off. I
mhm,
stopped eating meat at 20, and then spent my entire 20s up until my 30s meatless. And I do think that helped so much with the aging process.
yeah,
And also I don't stress too much and I'm
yeah.
childish. Also, you got to be childish, y'all. If y'all want to stay looking young, stay childish.
Yo, I'm childish as fuck. Like I've
That's
been
why
childish.
we look dumb
Yeah,
young for no
I'm
reason.
31. If you guys don't know, I know a lot of people ask this question and I answer all the time, but I'm 31. When it comes to me and like, I used to like do the protesting thing, which was kind of brief. Like I started off not really doing so much of that, but then I started doing like more volunteering and stuff like that when it comes to like animals. But
Mhm.
there was a time where I did like more protesting and stuff like that. And I realized that I was kind of like getting away from myself in a way and how I like to like talk to people. And it got a little bit more aggressive as far as like the actual in protest times, but not like outside of that. But after a while, you just realize just like there's a lot of dysfunction
Mhm.
in the vegan community, especially when it comes to like people who are being loud about it in certain ways. And a lot of like, how they say about like cops and stuff like this, and this is not all cops, but they used to get bullied in school and then now they become cops so they can like bully other people. I think when it comes to like a lot of different organizations like that, people who endured those type of like situations in their life, they go into these organizations and then they become more aggressive and they're just like, let me let out all of this aggression that was like a result of me being like bullied when I was younger. So you get like a lot of that, and I don't think people actually realize that. But when I started like doing more things, I did like one interruption, which I was just like, yo, I'm not even here, like after a while, and I was just like, this is not cool. And then once it was done, I was just like, I'm never doing that shit again. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to any of these like animal right type things or whatever because I see how a lot of the people involved are. And it was just like such a huge like turn off to me. And I remember
Oh,
we had a conversation before too, and it was very brief, but you mentioned like a couple things. I can't remember like exactly what you said, but when it came to like how you were like sharing your message and stuff like that, and I was just like, yeah, that's true. Like we all play a part in this. Like when it comes to like sharing veganism, whether it's you sharing a plate of food or you showing like fitness stuff, like we all play a part. And whether you're in it for health, animals, or an environment, it doesn't really matter if it's coming, it's all like helping each other. And I think like a lot of people try to like attack certain people for the way that they present it. I think as long as you're not hurting somebody, it's okay. Like you're really just trying to like share information, and people communicate in different ways, but just being mindful of where you were before you were vegan. And I know if a lot of the vegans who are more aggressive, if they approach me the like before or even now, if they were to approach me in a certain way, then I would react in a more aggressive way. It's not gonna make me want to go vegan. It's gonna make me want to fight you. So I don't know. So my message has definitely changed
oh,
in that way.
okay. Somebody said, "What's wrong with going to animal rights when it's about the animals and not the people there? It's about the message, not the people." Listen, I'm all for the message, but I will tell you personally, I will never be at one of those activist situations because they are the elite vegans who like to poop on, I'm trying not to cuss too much, on other people and other vegans. Like I myself have been bullied per se. Let's just use that word, by
Mhm.
other vegans because I don't do that, or like I don't pull up. And I'm all about the animals. Like literally, I will never claim to be a healthy vegan. I'm not vegan for my health. I am vegan for the animals, like first
Mhm.
and foremost. And to have them tell me that my veganism, my way of being vegan, isn't good enough because it doesn't look like their way of being vegan,
Mhm.
fuck, like it's hard to pull up to those things when energy is so strong, and when you're in that energy and
Mhm.
you're absorbing that energy, regardless of what the message is, regardless of what the purpose of you being there is, you're still absorbing that. And that's just too draining and that's too tiring. And I just can't put up with that. And I'm not one of those people who can fake it. I
Yeah.
can't just easily like ignore something that's so heavy and so like frustrating, because I like to protect my spirit and I'm gonna protect my spirit at by any means necessary. So like if being at one of those situations, like those like activist things, if
Mhm.
it means that my spirit is being damaged, I'm good. I'll find another way.
Yeah.
I'll find another way that's not around those people. So it's not easy to ignore energy, and people carry energy, and it's just like I'm good. I'm good. And I'm still putting the message out there. I'm still putting the message out there, like no matter what. Social media is just as powerful as actually pulling up to those things if you still put it out there.
Mhm.
Also, another thing that I do a lot is I take my message and my idea of veganism and I present it to celebrities, and I let them know like, hey, this is how I see things, and this is the way it is, and this is why you should go vegan. And I've helped so many people who have so many eyes on them go vegan and preach the vegan word, even if it wasn't long lasting, at least they did it for the moment.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like that is just as powerful as as pulling up to one of those draining ass like whatever, like
It,
it's just I'm I have so much going through my head right now. Like even with my boyfriend right now, right? I love the fact that when I first met him, he was vegetarian and he was curious about veganism. I helped him go vegan, and he is constantly talk. He has a million followers always talking about well, vegan, whatever, he always says because of the animals, because I can't hurt the animals, because he doesn't even say health. A lot of people think it's because of his health. He will always say, like, I know I can't kill an animal, so I'm not going to pay anyone to kill them for me. And I feel like I helped him see that a little bit better because I taught him everything. Because when we first met, he's like, oh, I think I'm just be a vegetarian and still eat eggs. And then I taught him about eggs and like the industry and how they just kill baby chicks, like male chicks, and all this other stuff. And it's like I'd rather influence one person who has a million eyes on them than attempt to be that one person influence. It's funny when I see a lot of vegans who only have vegan followers try to convince people to go vegan. I'm like, what are you you're yelling into a hallway, an empty hallway.
Yeah, it's like being in a bubble, and I mentioned that before, but somebody did say about the aggressive thing, and I just wanted to touch on that because a lot of people who do go there, they're not going for the animals, they're going for themselves, they're going to let out that negative energy. Is just a game for them. Not everybody, but some people. And when I'm talking about aggressive, I mean like yelling in people's faces and stuff like that. Like, and if that's what they do, that's what they do. But where I come from, that shit will get you killed. And I'm trying to reach the people like where I come from too. So I'm not trying to like have extra like issues with people. I want to communicate. I want to talk to people. I want to educate them. I'm not trying to turn people off. And if you do get somebody to go vegan, it might be like through those ways. It might be temporary and not always the case, but because after a while, if somebody convinces you to do something that you really did not want to do, that leads to resentment. And with resentment means they're going to be feeling certain ways towards you and certain ways towards the community that they became. That's why you see like a lot of like ex-vegans or whatever, that
Right.
they just go far left with it. Like they just like, oh, vegan is a cult or whatever. And I'm sure there was somebody who probably like convinced them, whether it was an influencer like or not, but like trying to make them feel guilty or whatever. And I understand like animals should not be killed or whatever, especially for like things that like we don't need to eat animals to survive. We don't need their skin to like stay warm and stuff like that. It's just so unnecessary.
Yeah, we're so
But
past that.
yeah, but I just feel like it all comes down to the person. It all comes down to the person. You can't convince me to go to be around negative energy, just like you were saying, when it comes to like protesting and stuff like that. I've done it. And I witnessed what it was, and I didn't feel it. When it comes to other things, maybe like the Cuba Truth, like I've done that. But then also it's just people. People are people at the end of the day, and if you can't stand being around certain people, don't be around them, because it's not it's not going to be healthy for you. And when you get that
Mhm.
energy from them, you're going to bring it back to somebody else, and they're going to bring it to somebody else. It's all connected. So I think it takes being really self-aware when it comes to like these things. And I've witnessed people who come from like protests and stuff like that still have that energy, um, and bring it to people in a street randomly, but not try to educate them. They just go straight
Oh,
into, oh, cursing at them, and the person just like
yep.
what the hell is going on? Like they're confused. Like a lot of people don't know. They don't know. Like they just think of like leather and fur and stuff like that as fashion, and it's been for the longest time. And thankfully, like things like minds are opening up a lot more, and people are actually realizing the cruelty behind it. But it really varies from person to person, I would say.
I do want to say one thing about a lot of activists when it comes to those elitist activists, so aggressive and so vocal and so out there and da-da-da. And I know I'm gonna get shit for this, but about like animals and all that other stuff, and in their eyes, you know, animals' lives matter, right? But I when things like when an unarmed black man dies, why aren't they just as loud? Why aren't they there's something that just feels like I don't know.
No, it's
Sometimes I actually ran into another. I'm gonna just talk about this.
yeah.
I've ran into racist vegan activists,
Mhm.
and they can kiss my ass. And a lot of them that I've met and that I've known, not in New York though, because New York obviously most of the activists are brown and black and like not really white.
Mhm.
But in other places, I'm just like, man, y'all really don't give a fuck about anything other than the animals, which is cool. I get it. But bro, we can't, you're not helping the the progression of our society as a whole.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You have to care about everyone as well as everything.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I can't respect you if you can turn a blind eye to still be like, oh, but this pig. And it's like, I get it. I hate when animals die, but I also hate when, people are killed just from existing, just because people feel threatened by their very existence and all that other. It's just a lot. It's like really deep. And it's really frustrating. So I can't fuck with those activists because I know where their heart is, and I just can't do it. Kind
Yeah.
of weird people do
And
that.
responding to Kirsten Mama, I mean, if you heard in the very beginning of what I was saying, I said that everybody plays their part. So aggressive vegans, if that's what they're gonna do, that's what they're doing. I'm not a part of it, and I'm happy to not be a part of it. And we don't all have to be doing the same thing, and we shouldn't be made to feel like guilty for doing a part, like, or doing our part in a different way. We're all citizens of the United States or the world actually, and we all have our individual lives. There's some people that don't share veganism, and maybe, and there's a lot more people who aren't vegan or whatever. I think we all, going back to the beginning, we all just play our part when it comes to this, whether it's sharing food, like I said, sharing fitness, or doing the animal rights protest or whatever. But it's not for everybody. All of those things are not for everybody unless you're into all of that. But yeah. All right. When it comes to wearing people wearing vintage fur, um, that's, I don't really support that just because it kind of like promotes it in a way. So that's where I feel like a little bit like weird about it. And I mean I think Sabrina got kicked out. Try again if anything. Try to join. But yeah, with the fur thing, the fur, I definitely don't support fur. The vintage thing, like I feel like it just promotes fur even more. Even like, I mean, the faux fur is cool too. Like, I mean, cool because you can say that it's faux fur and like get more, like especially celebrities, and get more people to actually start using faux fur instead of real fur. But yeah, that's a little sticky, I would say. Um, Am I Dominican? No, I am not. I'm Black and Puerto Rican, which is pretty much saying black twice. I like to say. Not sure how you know that they don't care about more than animals. I don't. We have a lot of minorities. No, no, you can clearly see with certain people that they don't care about people. Like it's pretty obvious when people are racist. There's no excuse for that. You can tell when somebody's being racist. I can tell when somebody's being racist and they're vegan. Like I think that's what she was like alluding to. and I don't want to speak for her, but I've definitely seen racist vegans and homophobic vegans. There's a lot of stuff like that, so we can't just like act like um, that's not happening. I'm stuck on buffering. Oh, okay, cool. All right. If you guys have any more questions, I don't think Sabrina is coming back. I don't know. Her stuff died or whatever. But this is my first time doing a YouTube live, so I'm here. What we planned on doing was, I guess I can title this an episode of What's Good, but if you look back on like a few of my other videos, well, the series that I had was called What's Good. I did 5 episodes of it, where I would sit down with like other vegans and like talk about like vegan news while like eating food and stuff like that. But unfortunately, because we tried to do it on IG Live earlier, it was a total mess. And we did like eat the food during that time, but it, it didn't go well. I'll just say that. So there's no food here, but I did have like a sandwich that I made with good catch tuna and vegan mayonnaise and some black pepper and some greens. And Sabrina had like a breakfast sandwich that she made, like 2 of them. Do you guys have any more questions? If not, I will dip. Do you think it's offensive when certain vegans equate eating meat with the slave trade or Holocaust? Yes, I think the whole thing with me, it comes down to communication. And I try to put myself in the shoes of certain people. And it really boils down to certain people. And I know that some people might feel a certain way and it would just like put up a barrier when it comes to them like listening to the vegan message. So I would say like whatever communication choice that you make, you have to make sure that you're like not putting up walls that make people feel a certain way where they're not able to actually like hear what you're saying after that. Because I feel like maybe is a chance, but there's a chance that I wouldn't have. If somebody was to equate slavery with animals before I was vegan a long time ago, I don't think I would have I don't think I would have got it. Like if it was somebody who was not black, I would say. So I would have probably been like feel a little bit weird about it. But my mind state was like a little bit like different back then too. So I don't know. It really depends on a person. I'm talking about straight racist, just aggressive vegans that act aggressive and there are elitists out there that don't care about human suffering that have been blocked from commenting. No, of course. Like, don't don't think, Kirsten. Like, don't think this is like an attack on you. I feel like a lot of people take this like it's all general statements, and there's certain people who don't communicate in certain ways, and there's certain people who like do or whatever, and there's certain people and certain people who aren't. But it's just through observation of like certain people. So it's not you in particular that we're saying like you're a racist vegan or whatever like that. It's just certain people out there. I don't know if that was like Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, I can't speak for her. She'll have to like speak on that herself. But aggressive, I would separate aggressive, and there are like there are some aggressive vegans, there are some racist vegans, there are some aggressive racist vegan, like that type of thing. So I wouldn't like trip too much over it. I definitely have people tell me that vegan activism is all they will participate in with me. I'm active as much as possible. Like, what do you mean as far as like support from the vegan community? Like, you're saying that they'll only support you if you're like being out in the streets or something like that? What Vibram shoes you got so far? Who's in the past? Oh, I appreciate that. The Vibrams, I only got the 5 fingers. I can't remember the style, but they're good. They're good for squatting and deadlifting and stuff like that. It was perfect. Um, yeah, like I think it all comes down to like at the end of the day when it comes to like veganism and just like sharing the message, it comes down to what you're comfortable with doing. Like being self-aware of like self-aware and then aware of your surroundings about how other people are perceiving what you're doing. And yeah, it really depends on you. Like I said, like I did the like the protesting and stuff like that for a while, and after a while I realized that it wasn't for me because I didn't want to be around certain types of people and stuff like that. So I don't take it personal. All right. Yeah, I mean, I can't speak on what she said. She has her own voice. Jews don't own the word Holocaust. Black people don't own slavery. Women don't own rape. Being against all. That's not what it's about. I think you're not like seeing the point of, and this is what I get really, really like often. People just don't understand the point of what we're trying to make. It doesn't matter if you own the word or not. It matters about how you're communicating. And it matters if the person that you're communicating to is actually receiving it. So if you're going back to like ownership of a word, who cares about the ownership of a word? The point is, if you're talking face to face with somebody and they're not understanding or they're not being receptive to what you're saying because you said something that turned them off, then that means that you communicated in a certain way that turned them off. It's not about owning words. It doesn't matter. Get to the point of communicating with people where they are. Some people will be receptive towards it and some people won't. That's the point. It has nothing to do with owning a word. What's good? Follow that up. It all comes down to communication. If somebody came up to me in a certain way or said something in a certain way, and I just I felt like it was like maybe it hit a sore spot in a certain way, and that could be like a part of like guilt too in certain ways, but also at the same time, some people they just they'll just throw you out. Like they won't want to hear anything else from you, and you have to realize that. Hey, babe. How you doing? Let's check my phone and see if you text it. Anything else? Any other questions or whatnot? All right. I guess that's it. Thank you guys for stopping in. I'll have to check on Sabrina, see what happened with her. But yeah, this is a good conversation. I'm glad to communicate with you guys in this way. Why do you think a lot of vegans are attracted to new age pseudoscience? Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know. You know, let's save that for next time. I don't even want to get into it. There's a lot of shit like that. I'm assuming because people feel like if you lie and like the government or whatever, whoever lied at when it comes to one thing, which is like veganism or whatever, like they try to like move things like they were healthy. Then it's like, what other lies are out there? You don't trust the government. I don't know. I'd like to see some proof that being direct in confrontation does not plant seeds. What you're always planting a seed when you communicate with somebody, whether it's a seed that's going to grow into something or is it not. But I'm not going to go back and forth. Like it's, I said my point already. You said your point. Be aware of how you're communicating with people. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I would appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also leave me comments. If you're interested in following me on Instagram, I'll link that somewhere. And if until next time, peace. Bye, guys.